Welcome viewers to the second part of my lecture on Government of Pakistan's budget for the year 2023-24. I am Professor Shakeel Abbasi and this is Breaking Analysis and Debate TV. Okay, let us discuss the different dimensions in this part. Another dimension of the budget is this is the addition to an additional budget of the Pakistan presented by different governments of Pakistan. It is traditional in the sense that it is deficit, as I have discussed in the previous point. It is traditional that here growth rate 3.6%, that is the growth target for the ensuing year, is very optimistic, and keeping in view the even the negative growth rate of Germany, America's growth rate would remain less than 1%, as forecast of IMF and World Bank. So how Pakistan, with the background of this poor and fragile or the weak economy, can achieve the growth rate of 3.6%. It depends all upon the presumptions and the optimism about the future, that we will get this much amount from IMF and World Bank and etc. Our export will increase. And likewise, this is the traditional that once again rhetoric is that we will assure stability. Stability when there is no political stability in the country. How we can get economic stability? It is because of the political instability, that is delay in holding the elections and treating the opposition, and as a result resistance by the opposition leaders, and 9th May's incident. And you know that instability actually badly affects your investment, your future planning. So jobs, inflation, unemployment are the outcomes of this instability. So this is traditional in this respect. Anyhow, likewise, high claims of the traditional features of the budget. It is also called election budget. As you know that tenure of the government is going to complete this year, and this is election year, and as per budget statement, 46 billion rupees have been allocated for election. Some other dimensions, for example, increase in the pay and pension of the employees. This indicates that government, especially Muslim League, finance ministers from Muslim, no doubt this is the PDM government, but finance ministries, Sagdars are from Muslim League, which never remained soft to the government servants. So they are objected, but they increased the pension and pay. So this is because of the election to win the sympathies of the government servants. So in this respect, this is the election. No doubt they are objected that how they would be managed to give this huge amount to the pensioners and the government servant, but they are steadfast. So they would increase this at any cost. So likewise, youth, which has been attractive by the PTI stalwarts, they have been given many concessions, for example, revival of the laptop scheme, and regarding this they have allocated 10 billion rupees. Likewise, freelance IT experts, they have been given many concession in taxes, and they know IT is the part of SME, and they would be given 20% concessions. on income tax. If they get the loan from the banks, same facilities as the SME avails. Likewise, almost 50,000 youth would be trained. So this dimension is actually political dimension of the budget, and no doubt every party has the right to do this. So from opposition point of view, this is objectionable. I think that this is not objectionable. So anyhow, they are Pakistani, and if they are doing good things for this is good. Optimism is another dimension. Finance minister is euphoric in this respect. For example, growth rate 3.5%, when World Bank and IMF forecast regarding growth of the world economy is very poor. Growth rate would remain the next 3 years, and growth rate for the even developed countries would remain less than 1%, and even Germany and like countries, their growth rate would remain negative, and it will affect Pakistan. Reason being, the government of Pakistan believes that this would be achieved by increasing export tremendously, and by increasing foreign remittances, and by reducing imports, etc. by engaging IMF and etc. Anyhow, keep in mind that our almost 80% exports markets are European and America. So America and Europe dependency is very high. Pakistan's dependency on these markets, when there is a slow growth in the economy, though our export would not increase. Likewise, how we can increase what type of export we can increase? We don't have the export surplus. We can increase one thing, that is we can export one thing, that is the labor force. And recently Greek incident, people have the craze for foreign engagement. Government of Pakistan can engage, and as per economic survey, 4.5 million are jobless, and per freelance economist, more than 1 crore or 10 million people are jobless in Pakistan, and even qualified people like environmental engineers, mechanical, electrical, civil engineers, doctors, agriculture doctors, physicians, etc. Even qualified people are available for foreign engagement, for foreign service. So government within 1 year can export this manpower, as government of Pakistan did in the 1970s. So great relief if our foreign remittances. Government also side by side thinking of increasing the foreign remittances. Oh, no doubt, by giving I think a diamond card they have announced, by giving free manpower arm license. This strategy is very suitable, that is the export of manpower, and very viable strategy. So this optimism is not good. We should keep in mind the hard facts and the ground realities, so that we can achieve our targets. So we will not be able to achieve this target, especially keeping in mind and that when we are passing through a situation of popular drama, Hamlet, that to be or not to be. And I should add that if to be were to be, election year, but no doubt 46 billion has been allocated. Freelance journalists and people are of the view that so far as Imran Khan is alive, there is no possibility of election. So this will breed uncertainty. So how with this perspective this growth rate can be achieved? My point is that if political stability takes place, we can go to the near of this target. Otherwise this is not possible. These are not economic aspects, but this is the political aspect, and you should know that political, social, and the economic aspect go side by side, and then this is also called economic development. So three dimensions, three aspects of political, social, and economic, they are taken for granted. Another dimension of the budget is that is the social sector. As I have discussed, that socio-economic and political development is actually economic development, and economic development reinstated as with due apology to Abraham Lincoln. Economic development is by the people, for the people, and of the people. So this is the proper definition of economic development. So here on the social sector, Benazir income support program announced almost 10 years earlier. This is recognized internationally. Its budget size has been increased to $50 billion. 93 million families, I think 9.3 million families are taking advantage or the benefit of this program, and now 93,000 people are students are being given educational stipend out of this program. So this is being enhanced and improved in many respect. But at the same time, doing away with the SAS program of the PTI government, and the health card, not good. So they should have been continued by this, especially health card. If you have some political differences, the economic front, these are the people who take advantage of this scheme. So like Benazir income support program, okay, it is good for the people, but we reformed. Instead of the people, rich segment of the people take benefit of these programs. Like Utility Store Corporation has been given 35 billion rupees, but personally I think that more rich segment of the society take advantage of low prices of Utility Store Corporation instead of the poor segment of the society. We don't have even sufficient amount to purchase one bag of etc. And likewise, most of the people, 65% of people are living in the rural area, and there is no utility stores corporation, and in those areas, so access is not possible. Likewise, Baitul Mal, we also see embezzlement in the Baitul Mal. Only it is nepotism, it is the political favoritism which works over there. Needy people are ignored. So laptop scheme, $10 billion instead of giving this is good, but it could have been improved. Instead of this, if the fee of the students, especially of the private sector, should have been reduced by the government by giving subsidy to the education, not to these people, because education assures economic development and prosperity. No doubt income IT profession. Likewise, information technology will be enjoying 0.25% tax concession for the next 3 years, and it would get the status of SME, and total income generated 20% concession on the income generated through this sector by getting finance from bank. So these are good dimensions, but keep in mind that IT freelance members are also number 2 in the world. They don't need at this stage the support of the government. Rather, other sectors should have been given this support, who have lagged behind. So this is my suggestion. Agriculture sector is a very important sector for us, because it is not way of life, rather means of life for Pakistan. Its share in GDP is 22%, and in jobs provision 37%. So in this respect, this is very important. 64% people are living in the rural area. So in this respect, directly or indirectly, most of the people are linked with this sector. Major part of the industry is agro-based industry. So in that respect, when there is poor performance of agriculture sector, definitely industry sector would also be affected, and vice versa. So here, this has shown positive growth as compared to negative growth of industrial sector. One point, I think, 5% growth for the previous year. So this is good sign, but this is because of livestock. Otherwise, because of flood of previous years, our main crops were damaged. So loss, so we have to face big loss. Keep in mind that our share in export of cotton related products is 65%. In this respect, this is very important. But in this budget, I think that no proper weightage has been given to this sector. We are importing actually wheat, so there is a main cause of our deficit, that we are spending almost more than $700 billion rupees on the import of the food items. So here, no doubt, loan facility equal to 2,280 billion is being estimated for the coming years. Likewise, agro-based industry has been encouraged. Housing society would get 5 billion. So SME has been given 10 billion rupees. So, but we have not focused on the wheat and maize and the cash crops, so sugar cane, etc. But so we have to face the challenge. Industry is another sector, and this sector, I think, that contributes 10% in GDP and in employment. This is its year used to be 16%, but now data is not available. Anyhow, this is very important. Industry is very important for economic development, because our exports, if we have manufactured goods or semi-finished goods, so value addition would be more. This sector was given some concession. For example, listed companies tax has been reduced from 1.2% to 1%. Likewise, textiles has been given concession by abolishing 5% tax, and likewise custom duties has been expected on the items or the material used in making capacitors and tapes, etc. So these are the concession, but keep in mind that instead of I would definitely object that our industrialists are not so honest, and rather they are involved in they are involved in smuggling, they are involved in tax evasion, and they are not competing with the rest of our. Keep in mind that our industrial, they were given support in our first 5-year plan, second 5-year plan. They have also been encouraged by the government, and in a government level, you should keep in mind that government established, they run the industry and they hand it over to our industrialists. But they are, when they do good business, they are not paying taxes. But they are, when they are in crisis, when they are profit, keep in mind they are not facing loss. Rather, their profit has come down. Whenever their profit comes down, they shut down the industry, because they have the assets abroad. So they are doing so many business. Same picture I see as depicted by late Dr. Mahbubullah. They run the banks, they run the insurance company, they run the industry. They get the 22 family. They are in a vicious cycle. There is financial cycle. So this is man issue, and government should focus on this instead of giving concession to during COVID. period, government has been supporting this industry, more support than a poor man. But they make hue and cry, and when their profit comes down because of the recession. So I think that the government should review its policy. No doubt, for job, for the sake of job, for the sake of export, for economic activity, industry is very important. But our industrialists, they are not competing with the rest of the world. They are not competing with Bangladesh. They are not competing with Korea, China, India. So look at what is the profit level of JDW of the Jahangir Treen for the 2020-22, more than 10 billion rupees after paying the taxes. So, like on Nishat, is the profit textile mill is almost 10 billion after paying the taxes. So, this is the net profit. So, they are making huge profit, but at the same time, they are crying like same stories like Aptoma and textile mills. Their products are very costly. They are being smuggled from cement industry, sugar industry. They are the tycoons. They are sitting in the parliament. So they get the concession from the government. So this policy should be done away. No tax concession, rather even powerful people who are sitting in the powerful people should consider this. Okay, they should be brought to the book, and at any cost they should pay the taxes, and they should compete with the rest. So you should review our tax structure as well, that how they can, we should remove the loopholes, we should plug these loopholes. So anyhow, this is another dimension. Services sector is very important. It is almost 55% of our GDP, and in terms of employment, this is the big one, and that is not available to share with you. But services sector means which provides services to the people: education, health, banking sector, insurance companies, listed companies at stock exchange, etc. So transportation, this is the services sector. I think that much concession like transport and import of the cars. So the capping, they remove the capping of the taxes for the cars 1300 and above cc. Anyhow, it is the wrong policy of different governments that now we are having higher import bill, oil import bill. Last year I calculated it was more than 7,000 billion rupees we imported oil because of blind policies of the government. There was no check on the import, and we should rationalize. But import is very important to give competition to the local industry. As I've talked to our industrials, even Suzuki company. Suzuki company's profit for the year 2021 was 5 billion rupees. And keep in mind the quality of the Suzuki company. Quality is very poor. And keep in mind that our client has pays in advance and the whole amount and gets the car after 120 years. That is the own policy is dangerous for this, and now they are crying that they are going to close this. They earn a lot. They are fleecing this nation. So this is not good. And likewise, services sector. In services sector, hospital, doctors, they have a lot of money they are getting, but they evade the taxes. So likewise, transporters, they fleece the people, but they are not paying taxes. Likewise, property dealers, as I have talked about, Ipsos report, near about 80 billion rupees tax evasion by this property sector. I have talked about PP and triple T, double P and triple T, 5 these sectors. So services sector should be encouraged. and they should be encouraged to pay more taxes. They should be forced rather to pay more taxes. Even let me quote here that after tax profit, that is the net profit, MCB is more than 45, and the B bank, and they are above 30 billion rupees. Askari bank and all these banks, they are per annum is 35 billion, 30, 45 billion, 65 billion rupees they are raising. So they should be taxed. At the same time, they are having a very high tax rate for the clients who will invest in this country, who almost 30% interest rate, including hidden charges. So this should be formed, rationalized through annual budget, because role of annual budget is to steer the economy as per desire of the government or the nation. Dear viewers, let us move towards third part of the lecture. Keep in touch. Thank you.